Welcome to episode 1 of Fatebound Threads, Deep Dives into Lore. Today, we're talking about a fan-favorite character from Grand Archive, Merlin. Merlin made her debut in Dawn of Ashes, the very first set of Grand Archive, as a level 2 champion card. She also appears in the artwork for Freeze Stiff and Frozen Nova. While there wasn't much lore or card text referencing her at the time, her art already painted a picture of a powerful mage, always surrounded by shards of pink, crystalline magic. Her allegiance wasn't clear, but she was consistently shown in scenes of ruins and chaos, hinting at her deeper role in Cambria's story. We finally get a confirmed piece of her story in the official lore article, Lorraine 2, A Call to Arms, where Merlin is introduced as an advisor to King Uther of Camelot. I've linked this article in the description. If you're new to the game or the lore, don't worry. I'll be covering the worlds of Camelot and Cambria in more depth in an upcoming episode. But for now, here's a quick primer. The Grand Archive is an organization of powerful champions who travel across worlds trying to save them from destruction and chaos. The first world they visit, and the setting for the first 2 sets, is Cambria, which draws heavy inspiration from Arthurian legends. Champions like Lorraine, Xander, Rai, and Mordred arrive in Cambria from the Grand Archive to fight back against the forces threatening it. Sylvie, Lorraine's best friend, also plays a key role, although she isn't officially part of the Grand Archive. Lorraine, who ends up serving King Uther directly, becomes our point of view character, and it's through her eyes that we first encounter Merlin in the lore. Here's a moment from their first meeting. Before turning around, Lorraine also noticed that someone else sat at Uther's left. A woman with flowing lavender robes and snow-white hair held a spot of importance within this council. She wore an inscrutable expression, but her elusive lilac eyes drank in the room, betraying a piercing intelligence. At that moment, they locked eyes, and an eyebrow raised appraisingly before Lorraine followed her captain and the Lord Commander out into the hallway. After this moment, Merlin disappears from the spotlight. Although Lorraine 3 is listed on the official website, the article was never published, leaving us without a direct follow-up. But in the next set, Fractured Crown, Merlin's story takes a dramatic turn. During her time in Cambria, Lorraine unlocks one of Cambria's ultimate elements, Crux. In Fractured Crown, Lorraine discovers a mysterious being known as the Majestic Spirit. We'll go deeper into Crux and ultimate elements in a future episode. What matters here is that Lorraine gains powerful new magic that Merlin ultimately seizes for herself. We don't know exactly how, but at some point, Merlin possesses Lorraine's body, gaining access to Crux magic, and using Lorraine's influence at court and skill in battle to kill King Uther and seize the throne of Camelot. She's now wielding the Sword of Avarice, stirring up chaos across Cambria and fully stepping into her role as a villain. A fun fact we recently learned from the devs at Worlds is that during this time, while possessing Lorraine's body, Merlin cut Tristan's arm off. We don't get many details on how the heroes ultimately defeat her, but based on cards like Peaceful Reunion, we know they succeed. The Grand Archive eventually moves on, Cambria is saved, and Merlin vanishes. For a while. Fast forward about 2 years. We've explored 2 new worlds and met tons of new heroes and villains, but Merlin remains oddly absent. Despite this, she stays popular with fans, both for her character and her playstyle, even if she's fallen out of the meta. Then came Worlds 2025. In Supporter Pack 3, one of the collector's super rares revealed a familiar figure, the Kingslayer herself. Merlin returned with a new look, her signature magic swirling around her once more. Naturally, the fanbase lost it. Was this just a one-off nod to the fans? A cool card art cameo? Or was this the beginning of something bigger? Then spoiler season for Distorted Reflections began, and with it, a blurry card reveal featuring a figure stepping through a looking glass. Confident. Powerful. Was this Merlin again? Not long after, we got confirmation. A card titled Excalibur, Reflected Edge. This card doesn't just feature a gorgeous new depiction of Merlin, it includes a Merlin-specific bonus. She's back, and she's brought Excalibur with her. This is huge. Excalibur previously appeared in Dawn of Ashes as a Luxem element sword, seemingly wielded by Arthur. Now it's in Merlin's hands, transformed by her magic, and she's in a new world, Underland. Where does her story go from here? Some fans speculate that Merlin may try to repeat history, this time by taking over Alice's body. Certain card arts show Alice wielding dark magic, while others depict her detained and called a monster. We'll dive more into these theories in the next video. Adding fuel to the fire, the DTR Media Kit lists Alice's character cutouts as Merlin 1 and Merlin 1v2. Maybe it's a dev joke, they're very engaged with the community and love leaning into fan theories, but what if it's more than a joke? Now that the full DTR card index is out, we know Merlin isn't a champion in this set, and she doesn't appear in any other card art or flavor text. However, the Underworld lore article gives us a crucial hint. Quote, "A cloaked figure from a faraway land, wielding a foreign blade forged of crystal and imbued with distant memories, created a schism between the two worlds, reflecting the world's soul and opening a portal between realms that were never meant to meet. Though only accessible through either world's castle, once you pass through the looking glass, you'll never know where you'll emerge." This clearly describes Merlin. But how did she gain this power? Is it tied to Excalibur's transformation? And what does it mean that the looking glass can only be accessed through the castles? If she created this portal from the king's castle, what does that say about Cambria's current state? Could she have carved out a kingdom of her own? Looking ahead, the next set is called Phantom Monarchs. Still set in Underland, this name could reference the region's monarchs, or maybe it hints at rulers from other worlds passing through the looking glass. After Phantom Monarchs, we'll return to Cambria for a capstone set, bringing together all the classes, characters, and elements. Could this be a massive clash of worlds triggered by Merlin's interference? It would be the perfect setup for her to step back into the spotlight. I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next. Will Merlin remain a villainess? Could she become a reformed hero? What's her true agenda, and how will she interact with Alice, Diana, Seal, and the rest of the Grand Archive? And, most importantly, will she get the next Recollection Deck? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Fatebound Threads. Thanks for watching.